everyone, and welcome back to the channel for our preview for UFC 297. I am joined by my partner in crime for our first UFC preview of the year, Mr. Callum Sanderson. How are you doing?
I'm good, bro. We were speaking before we started. Like, we haven't filmed together literally in like almost a whole month.
Yeah, since Leon beat Colby.
Since
The last
Leon
time we did a
battered
video
Colby.
together.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Hey, and
But
since
I've missed
then,
it, man. Missed it. Happy to be back.
hey, he's happy to have you back. You've been extremely busy,
Yeah.
newborn and everything.
Yeah. Third kid
Everything
now,
blessed
man.
with the family before we start.
Yeah.
Everyone's
good, man. Everyone's good. She's a loud crier, but she's lovely. She brings some good balance to the house so far. The boys have just got so much energy.
And she calms everything down with just
yeah, well, I'm hoping it stays that way. We'll see.
Well, this weekend's action is going to be insane. UFC 297 in Canada, headlined by Make Canada Great Again, Sean Strickland versus Dricus Du Plessis for the middleweight title, also on the card. We'll be finding out who's going to be picking up Amanda Nunes' belt after she retired. Raquel Pennington versus Bueno Silva. Also on the card, Neil Magny versus Canada's own Mike Malott. Chris Curtis versus Marc-Andre Barriault. And then opening the card, England's Arnold Allen versus Mozart Evloev. Mozart Evloev. Callum, this card, if you told me 2-3 months ago that this was your card, I think we were pretty much the same, going, this card's dead. This card is dead. But recently, the last couple of months, they've been pushing out the promo. They've been pushing it out. Strickland, Du Plessis, getting in a little bit of a brawl, hyping this pay-per-view up slowly. So how has your mind changed from when this main event was first announced to now? Are you more hyped? Are you more concerned about either fighter? Or?
I'm happier that this is happening. The reason I say that is I never wish injury on anyone, any fighter. Hamzat would have got this title shot, and I don't think it would have been deserved. The right thing is happening. Now, technically, this is what should be happening in the heavyweight division, but that's a whole nother conversation, another video. This is the right thing. Dricus Du Plessis has earned his title shot. He beat Darren Till, he beat Derek Brunson, and he beat #1 ranked Robert Whittaker. As big of a name and as much of a legend and as much of a future Hall of Famer Kamaru Usman is, he's done his work at 170. And arguably, Usman beat Hamzat in that fight. And if it had gone 2 more rounds, Usman does beat Hamzat in that fight. So Hamzat, for me, didn't deserve a title shot. So Dricus getting the title shot is what's deserved. After seeing how friendly they both have been since that brawl and that altercation, I'm wondering, was that a play? Was that
promo?
Was that concocted to make that more of a viral situation and build this card and build this main event? I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit of a conspiracy theorist. This card, you said it. This card's a sleeper card. There are some very good fights. That Arnold Allen Evloev fight could easily headline a fight night card. Easily. Obviously, you've got the bantamweight women's championship fight as well, and then Sean Strickland has become one of the most popular figures.
Outspoken.
Yeah, he's one of the most popular fighters currently. So, and Dricus is well known for his beef with Izzy. This is a big card. And I actually think it's going to be a banger of a card. I know a lot of people are like, oh, who's watching this? It may not get the same numbers as other cards, but this is going to be a banger of a card.
Do you know who will be watching it? We will.
We will. We will
be there. Listen to this for a stat, Callum. It's the first time since 2017, apart from GSP Bisping, that a certain Israel Adesanya has not been in an undisputed title fight.
Since 2017.
Since 2017.
Is that, hold on.
Because Rob won the interim belt.
Oh, yes. Wow. 7 years he's had a chokehold on this division.
Oh yeah. He's
Hold on. He was champion effectively champion apart from
2018.
one fight
Yeah, when he went
for
up
6
to
years.
yeah.
That's insane.
He's had a chokehold over this division, pretty much. Even reporters can't keep his name out of their mouths
Bro, that's insane.
because
I know I'm an Izzy fan, so maybe it's going to come across a bit biased. We got to start really putting respect on Izzy's name, man.
Yeah. People, he gets the Anderson Silva comparisons, which for me he is second best middleweight of all time behind Anderson Silva.
Yeah,
For me, he's still the best middleweight of all time.
yeah.
But Izzy
And
has had a chokehold on this division. I know people, towards the end of his title run were a bit critical of, he's had some poor fights, but hey ho.
I mean, you can argue his resume in terms of maybe not name. I was gonna say actually the thing is with Anderson moved up to 205 a couple of times and he beat
Seamlessly just
Griffin and
moved up,
Forrest,
moved back down,
Forrest and rest his soul, Stefan Bonner. He lost against DC short notice, but he didn't get embarrassed in that fight. He almost stopped DC in the third round with the kick to the body. So, yeah, it's still Silva. Adesanya is as close as it gets.
Uncomfortable conversations, and obviously, I think Sean Strickland said in a press conference, should he win, he's more than happy for a quick turnaround to face Izzy in the rematch at UFC 300, which for me personally, I'm against because Izzy needs to win one. It's not like when he lost the belt the first time against Pereira. I do feel like that you are deserved an automatic rematch if you've had a long reign, drop the belt.
Yeah.
But that was his first defense of his second reign. For me, he shouldn't get it. But hey ho, it's the UFC. It's politics. And if Dricus wins, you know for damn sure. If Dricus comes through this unfazed, him versus Izzy will probably headline UFC 300. Sorry, Leon.
Here's the thing. Everything you just said, I 100% agree with. The problem is if Sean Strickland beats Du Plessis, then Whitaker can't get a title shot because he had a bad loss against Du Plessis. Cannonier you could make an argument for, but I think he's got an injury. He's got an injury though.
Yeah, was it a knee
I think he's got quite a bad injury. Then Vittori's number 5, can't give it to him. Costa's number 6, can't give it to him. Then Brendan Allen number 7, and then the lead say, and then How is Hamzat ranked 9th in the middleweight division? He's beaten no one in the top 15.
For beating the welterweight, that's what beating the welterweight gets you.
That's crazy, but yeah, I don't think there's anyone else everyone else still got to do work apart from Cannonier, you could argue.
There's no standout contender. That's why.
Yes, and Izzy versus Sean 2, Strickland versus Izzy 2. That's a huge fight. If that headline 300, that gives extra boost that pay-per-view. But saying that, if Izzy fights Dricus, it's the same as well. Izzy's the common denominator.
Izzy's going to be the winner regardless on who wins. But back to the two men that will be fighting head to head in the octagon. For me, I'm saying this is probably the most 50-50 title fight that we've probably seen in a while. Because usually with title fights, you go, this guy's the favorite and this guy's the underdog. But you see in this, and you can flip a coin, and if it lands on either guy, I'm sort of going, yeah, I can see it, sort of thing. I could see Strickland putting on that pace for 5 rounds, and and I could see Dricus knocking him out like he did Whitaker. So it's a bit of pick which one you want. I know which one the UFC would want.
Yeah.
The UFC want that belt off of Strickland as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But this is a 50-50 fight. Like either answer of who will win, like it's not going to offend me if you go, Strickland's retaining or Dricus is winning. I'll be like, yeah, I can see that.
I don't think it's a 50-50 fight. I feel like it's a 60-40 fight. And favorably more. more to Du Plessis. He's had more time in between fights, but not so long where you'd expect rust to be an issue. He's naturally the bigger man. I would probably say he's quicker. I'd say he's stronger, and I think his game's more well-rounded, despite how awkward he is and how awkward he
his
looks.
striking has looked very, very awkward.
Yeah, it's ugly to look at. Where Sean striking looks very clean to look. His jab's excellent.
It's the Philly roll. It's the Mayweather Philly roll.
It's not just that though. He does a very good job of lifting his lead leg, because in a boxing stance, the first thing an MMA fighter is going to think is, oh, take out that lead leg, like they do to Nate a lot of the time, hampers his boxing. But he constantly keeps his leg raised, which is checking kicks and making sure the kick's not landing.
That's what he did so well against Izzy, because when you look at the Izzy fight, because obviously we didn't do the watch long for it, but I have rewatched the fight a few times.
Hold on. No, we didn't. You're right.
We didn't. Like the way he caught him with the 1-2 when Izzy tried to do the kicks. Izzy checked the kicks. I think it was like a 1-2 in the teep kick was sort of like Strickland's favorite combo for that fight, and he absolutely dominated Israel Adesanya in that title fight, and he had that stacked against him. In that fight, took it on short notice. I don't know. He said he had injuries coming into the fight, but it wouldn't surprise me if he had injuries coming into the fight, and it was a take it or leave it situation. And the fact is that he walked away with the belt. His confidence is going to be sky high, because no champion wants to lose their belt on their first defense. No one.
It's the hardest fight though for a champion, is that first defense though.
And because obviously you'd always fear, is Strickland going to let it get to his head, the fame and like the extra popularity that he has been getting, or
doesn't seem like it
for me. Like he's dialing up his already extreme personality. Like that's already dialed up the presser this week. I won't touch into like what he said in the presser, but he went off.
Yeah, he's doubled down on who he is now.
Yeah, like he's doubled down. Like he is. I try to think, like, if you would describe him, like he's not the anti-hero. Like Dana probably looks at him and thinking, "Why the fuck are you?"
All right, hear me out on this. It feels as though this is the Stone Cold to Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
the only difference is he hasn't beefed Dana yet.
But the thing is, I think it's very hard to beef Dana, because Dana like lets fighters be, unless you call Dana out directly.
Which beef. Anyone could do that. Is Sean. This could be we could be entering the Stone Cold and Vince McMahon.
Yeah, but he better not lose that belt, because
if he loses that belt, it's done.
He'll be pushed down the division. He'll be the new gatekeeper in a few fights' time, should he go on a little losing streak. But when you look at Dricus, his game is all about pressure, the cardio, the awkward striking, which I think could play into his favor, because we said like his striking is very awkward.
Yeah, effective though.
It's effective striking, right? His knockdown against Whittaker, literally, like you don't see this strike coming.
Yeah, it's like a
jab,
like
looping right, like cross jab, catches Whittaker on the nose. You see his nose just go like that, getting splattered across his face. But for Dricus, my only concern is his pressure. He was already speaking about 205, because before he came to the UFC, he was a double champ.
Yeah,
in his promotion, 185, 205. For me, like when you're not even got the belt and already you're talking about another division, for me that does raise slight concerns. Is your eye already moved on to the next goal after you've won the fight yet? That's my only issue for it.
Conor did it.
Yeah, Conor did it. Yeah, he backed up his talk, but we've seen plenty of fighters that have not backed up their talk. Plenty of fighters, and Dricus is a super talented fighter. I do not want him to join that list of fighters that have not backed their talk.
Yeah,
because it'd be a shame, because he is an extremely talented fighter. He is an extremely talented fighter. Maybe not like him on the mic as much, but
Yeah.
Hey ho,
Kind of a little cringy on the mic.
Yeah, it's a little cringe. Him and Izzy definitely could have a cringe off.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
On the mic, which they've already proved.
Yeah.
But yeah, this fight, Callum, your prediction, are we seeing and new, or are we seeing and still?
I'm gonna go and new. I think he stopped Sean in the third or fourth. I think he manages Sean's pace, but I think because he's a similar fighter in terms of the pressure, but I think he's hits harder and he's quicker. So I think he.
Well, Callum will join. I think for me personally, I do feel like in this fight, if Dricus can manage the first round, they'll probably give it like a round and a bit. If he can manage that tempo, the pace, I don't know if this is Dricus' first 5-round fight. Yeah, Callum's Matt.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I think he gets to Sean. I think he does it.
Is this Dricus' first 5-round fight? Because I just mentioned before he came back. Yeah, so this is his first 5-round fight. So I'll be very interested to see how Dricus handles the pace. Because he looks incredible. Like, he looks in incredible shape.
Yeah,
both
do, to be fair.
Because when this is recorded, this will be out the day, like this will be out fight day. Both have made championship weight. I think all the fighters on the main card made weight. I know who didn't. Both made championship weight. For me, if Dricus can sort of not read Sean's pace of how he's gonna start the fight, because I reckon Sean's gonna be out like a freight train, high pace. I don't think Sean will take the back step, but it wouldn't surprise me if he does let Dricus dictate the pace and him use the Philly roll just to roll out the way off the punches.
Yeah.
I don't know, not we'd expect much wrestling. Wouldn't surprise me if they both can wrestle. I know Sean can wrestle, which people wouldn't think that of him.
I think Dricus tries to take him down first.
But yeah, I think Dricus does try the first takedown. But you're saying and new. I think I'm going to agree with you with this one. I think it's going to be and new. I think you'll get him in the championship rounds by knockout. I reckon something awkward's going to catch him. I'm trying to think. I try to think if Dricus was good at checking leg kicks.
I can't remember Rob throwing many, to be fair.
Yeah, but yeah, Dricus and new, and if should he get out of there relatively unscathed?
Yeah, he calls out Adesanya. That'd be just crazy if he doesn't call Adesanya out.
He calls out Adesanya. I'm shocked Izzy's not going to be there. I'm stunned. He is not going to be.
I think it's a smart thing, though.
Yeah, it's going to be smart.
If he gets called out, the camera's on him. He then has to make a decision.
Especially when Portan is in the crowd.
Yeah.
Pereira's going to be there. But yeah, we're both going and new.
Yeah.
New middleweight champion.
Fourth round for me. TKO.
Fourth round for me as well. So we've both got the same prediction. This one, co-main event for the vacant UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion, Raquel Pennington versus Myra Bueno Silva. Yeah, this is an interesting fight because obviously let's talk about the elephant in the room.
It's Amanda Nunes' belt.
It's Amanda Nunes' belt. But yeah, number one contender Juliana Pena is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
Has been guaranteed the winner. Why? Is she injured? I don't know whether or not she's in.
She was injured, yeah.
Oh, okay, she's injured, so that makes sense. Running her mouth like always. She's definitely gone to the Colby Covington school of trash talk because it's cringe.
I think trash talk's better than Colby's.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, little secret of mine, I actually quite like Pena, and I actually quite like the way she goes about her trash talk.
All right, I'll see you later.
Shall I tell you what it is with her? She's transparent that she's that she's like saying stuff to hyper fight. She never steps over the line, in my opinion.
For me, she did when it was Amanda's retirement. For me, that overstood the line. Like, yes, you have when she was shouting when Amanda was retiring, that really irked me. When she was like, when Amanda
me.
was mentioning like Anderson Silva and stuff like that, and she's like saying, "You're Anderson Silva? How dare you compare yourself to Anderson Silva?" Like, I didn't like that. I did not like
I
that.
didn't mind it. I didn't mind it.
Personally,
But
but
she's kind of the champion in waiting now that Amanda's gone, isn't she?
yeah, because she's had beef with Silva, because obviously Silva beat Holly Holm, if
Yeah.
memory serves me correctly, and then she popped
Yeah.
with something, and that turned into a no
It was,
contest.
I think it was Ritalin, so ADHD medication, but obviously it's not no previous. Hence why the ban was so short. It's only 4 months ban, I believe.
Yeah. So I think off of that, she got the title shot. 'Cause I don't think she's fought since.
No, she hasn't. Raquel
Since
Pennington, since her loss, has won 6 fights in a row, I believe.
damn, Pennington won 6 fights in a row to get the belt. Obviously, she's probably disappointed that it's not Amanda.
Yeah.
I believe they fought in the past, which Amanda won. But this is a big opportunity for Silva because I think we've seen in the other women's divisions there's a crop of new talent coming through. I'm not seeing that at bantamweight yet. She is probably the best contender at the moment to break through past the older guard, because the older guard are sort of, you know, like Holly Holm. I think Duranda May's just come back. I'd say is Pena part of the old guard? Would you say, or was she part of the new breed? I think it's really difficult because we are seeing a progression of women's MMA, and I feel like the UFC bantamweight division were waiting for that next star to really push through and go, yeah, this is my division now. Because obviously Amanda's reigned that division since she beat Ronda with an iron fist. Obviously, she dropped the belt to Pena, then picked it back up, won defense against Aldana, and then has gracefully retired, leaving a gap, leaving an opportunity for someone to say, thanks, Amanda, for your for your time, but this is my division now. And I feel like with it's a tricky one to call, really, because Silva's not fought since the home fight. So is there going to be ring rush? He's had the ban. How's the rust? But Pennington, I saw here that she last fought in January last year on the 14th against Kathleen Vieira, which she won via split decision. So it's a very interesting one.
Apology.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay. I've just discussed now while you were gone that I feel like with the women's divisions, you're sort of seeing like a crop of new talent burst through, especially at strawweight. I say not as much as strawweight, but flyweight, you're seeing a new crop of young talent. I'm not seeing that at bantamweight yet. I do feel like that the old guard are sort of trying to hang on to, I wouldn't say relevancy, but they're trying to hang on to their place at the top of the division. Home, Duranda Mays thinks coming back. Obviously, Nunes is retired. Ronda's gone. I thought Juliana Pena was going to be that one to really burst through after she won the belt off Nunes. Maybe she's still going to be the woman. Obviously, there's a Valentina, potentially
Aldana, Caitlin
Aldana,
Vera.
maybe. But I think I discussed before, like Pennington's last fight was against Vieira, which she won by a split decision in January last year.
Yeah.
Obviously, she did have a cancelled bout against Aldana. So it's a really, really tricky one here because
It's a shallow division now, it feels like.
it is a shadow division because we both agree the winner of this loses to Pena. Like when Pena,
I don't know about Bueno Silva. I think Raquel Pennington loses to Pena.
yeah, but I think Silva could snatch that neck,
Yeah,
and then tap her out. Because like if you're looking at Star, I feel like she's on the cusp. She can grab hold of that belt. I reckon she could have a title defense before a certain Valentina Shevchenko decides that she's had enough fun at flyweight, and now we're moving up to the bantamweight. But I'd say, yes, it is a difficult one. It is a difficult one to call. But I think for me, I'm edging for Bueno Silva, but via submission, rear naked choke. 4th round.
So this again, it's a tough one because Bueno Silva is very much a come forward fighter, and you look. This is why it's hard for me to pick Raquel. I'm obviously going the same as you here. Holly Holm for me is probably outside of Nunes is the best striker in that division with her kickboxing and boxing accolades. Bueno Silva was able to walk her down and deal with that. So I don't think there's anything Raquel's going to be able to do.
Yeah,
that's going to change the outcome. Again, Raquel could mix up takedowns or mixing takedowns. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Bueno Silva is probably going to get out of there 2nd or 3rd round.
So for to go with submission as well. Do you think rear naked? She'll grab the neck and
I reckon a submission could be an armbar, could be a rear naked.
Yeah. So far we're matching
2
each
and
other with
2.
predictions.
This is incredible. 2024, baby.
2024, we're matching. Next fight on the card: Neil Magny versus Mike Mallott. Well, hey, this is Neil Magny's wheelhouse. We got a young up and coming talent. Do you want to prove you're the guy? This is the guy you beat. Do you want to be in the top 15, top 10? This is the guy you beat. And this is the one where Neil Magny performs and sends them back down the rankings saying, hold on, young buck. It's not your time yet.
Oh, you think so?
I think so. I think he's got a point to prove, Neil Magny. Not because of anything that Mike's done. Not anything that he's done. I think he's got a point to prove.
I think he does as well.
Because since the Ian Gary fight, his life's become very difficult.
Yeah, Ian Gary's
because of the not stupid comments Neil Magny made. I don't think they were stupid. I think
it's a very off the cuff
Gary's
comment, and Ian Gary just needed something to promote the fight, and he used that, which is I don't know. Ian Gary is a weird character to judge at the moment because it's almost like he's in an echo chamber where he's not seeing what he's doing wrong.
Yeah,
but he's quick to point out where other people are doing wrong to him and his wife, which isn't nice. But if you're going to live in that world, then you've got to take what comes of it.
Yeah. Give as good as you get, I think.
Yeah. But saying that, I'd be honest. I know what you said about Neil. This is wheelhouse in terms of young up and comer. He spoils the party. I don't think he's that guy anymore. I look at Neil and I feel as though the fight's almost been beaten out of him because he's had so many fights and been such a regular fighter.
Never missed weight as well, 32-year UFC appearances, never missed weight.
It's like the ultimate professional. Dana and Shelby and the Fratiers, they must still love Magny because
they'll treat him well after retirement. Dana's got his fighters that when they do good for him, Dana treats them.
Because you look at someone like Colby. Colby's not fighting any new up and coming fighters and fighters in their prime, apart from Leon, and look how that went. So I rate him. I think
because last time we saw Mike Mallott, it was actually on the Canada card last year, and I think I was half asleep. So what I can remember was he put in a very good performance. I think he got the finish, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, he did.
But this is an opportunity for now for him to step up, make that next step, to say that he's here. Which I don't know. It's a flip of a coin because has Neil Magny got one more left in him?
I don't think so.
But I've just got a feeling that I don't want to agree with you again. I feel like that we're just going to agree for the whole guy.
I know, but I don't see what Magny's going to bring that's new to the table anymore. He's slowed down. He's battled. Like I would not want to see Neil Magny just continue to take a beating in the same way I like to see Tony Ferguson continue to get a beating. But Ian Gary systematically broke him apart in the last fight.
Yeah,
He whacked up
mentally
the leg.
and physically.
Yeah.
Mentally and physically broke him.
So I don't know if he's the same. And I think Mike Below, I think, is a very good welterweight.
But both go Mike. I'm going to go Mike by decision.
I'm going Mike by second round stoppage, submission. Neil Magny doesn't really get knocked out.
No. Speaking of middleweights, it's Sean Strickland's mate, Chris Curtis, versus another hometown.
The action man.
The action man versus Marc-Andre Barriault. Chris Curtis, he's the middleweight gatekeeper. I think it was mentioned to him in the press, which he didn't take too kindly to. Which we wouldn't be surprised when you're getting your ass whooped most fights.
So
sorry about
that. Chris Curtis is one of my first fun fighters to watch. All of his fights are entertaining.
Yes. He's had some controversial moments since he's joined the UFC. You know.
Yeah.
Like
but
he's only been KO'd once.
First, I'm trying to think who was his first fight. Who was his first fight in the UFC?
Bill Halls.
That's it. And he was getting beaten up in that fight and then pulled out the KO. The Gastelum fight, he got kind of messed about in that because it was a head clash and he got ruled as a knockdown. Otherwise, he would have won the fight.
No, I know.
Joaquin Buckley, he stopped Joaquin Buckley, starched Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah, there's no contest with Nasruddin Imanov. That was an accidental head clash. So that was his last fight. Lost to Jack Hermanson, where he was so bitter. He was super bitter that he lost.
Yeah, he was silly. He was silly on that day.
And then he KO'd Brendan Allen, who lost to Strickland. Obviously, a bit of beef there and stuff like that. But
he's got a KO win over Brendan Allen, did you say?
KO win over Brendan Allen.
That's
fight
big
in the UFC. Second
the
round.
Thing is,
KO
him and
win.
Sean, I don't think will ever fight.
No, because they're both good mates. So he needs a win because he's not won in his last two. One no contest, one loss. Last win was December 10th, 22 against Joaquin Buckley. So he needs a big performance, big win. I think with regard to Marc-Andre Barriault, nicknamed the Power Bar. What an absolute nickname. That's a hell of a nickname, that one. That's a hell of a nickname. He's got 10 wins by a knockout, only been submitted, and he's been KO'd once and submitted once. But most of his wins are by knockout. He's on a 2-fight win streak, beat Eric Anders by decision, and he beat Julian Marquez by knockout. He's lost to Anthony Hernandez, beat Jordan Wright. Yeah, so he's had a good UFC. I think he had a slow UFC start.
Yeah,
but I think
kind of going on the radar.
UFC went 0-3 straight away. No went 0-3 and then won no contest, and he picked up his first UFC win against Abu Altazar on the Ngannou Stipe card. And since then, he's sort of been a couple of wins, lost, couple of wins, lost. Riding the 2-fight win streak. It's definitely I'm probably going to edge it with the younger guy. I'm going to edge it to Barriault, but do not be surprised if Chris Curtis knocks him out.
Yeah, I was going to say I've got Chris Curtis to win. I think his technique and his power and the way he cuts off the cage, I think is excellent. I think he's a very, very good fighter. He didn't show it against the Hermanson fight, but I think he's a very good fighter. And I think once he starts landing that left hand, I think Barriault's going to find it difficult. So I'm going to go Chris Curtis. Decision.
I'm going to be different. I'm going to go with Marc-Andre Barriault. I just think his height is going to be a problem for Chris Curtis to deal with, and I'm going to go decision. So it's the first fight that me and Callum have disagreed with. So we're going to see who comes out on top in that one. But I've got a feeling me and Callum, when Callum comes back, we'll agree on this one. The opener to the main card, Brendan Allen making his return to the UFC against Mosa Evloev. See, didn't butcher the name. So yeah, this fight is worthy of starting of headlining a fight night, in my opinion. Two highly talented featherweights. I think Arnold Allen is, if memory serves me right, he's coming off that loss to Max Holloway, which was his last fight out in the 15th of April. So that was his last fight, the 15th of April last year. I think he's had some injury issues. That's why we've not really seen him since then. A super talented fighter, Arnold. He's definitely got potential to become UFC champion at featherweight. I do think he's got all the tools to be champion. But obviously, when you're fighting Max Holloway, it's always a 50-50. It's always 50-50. Hello. Just talking about our next British hopeful, Arnold Allen, coming off a loss to Max Holloway in April last year. He's not fought since then. Up against the undefeated Mosa Evloev. I think he came off of a very, I wouldn't say controversial, but a very, decision against Diego Lopez.
Yeah.
On short notice. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Arnold can take that 0. So with this, obviously, Evloev's been a bit more active than Allen. Obviously, Allen's had the long layoff. Evloev had that, I wouldn't say controversial. It was an extremely tough fight. Maybe he just edged the Lopez fight, but this is very interesting because he's undefeated. Which most people wouldn't really realize that he's an undefeated fighter that hasn't really had that talk. Because usually when you get an undefeated fighter, the UFC hop on the hype train.
Because I don't think he's done anything that's necessarily special or captivating. He's winning fights and he's winning them.
I don't think he's very charismatic. Like,
I don't even know if it's the charisma. Because I wouldn't say Shavkat's charismatic, but
do you know why he's not charismatic? Because out of his 17 wins, would you like me to tell you how many are knockouts and submissions?
Is it like 2 knockouts and like 3 submissions?
3 knockouts, 4 submissions, 10 decisions.
That's what it is.
That's probably why he's not getting like the hype that probably an undefeated fighter. Because let's flip that. If that was like 10 knockouts, 4 submissions, like 0 defeats, 0 decisions, you're going, wow.
Yeah. Everyone's being like, he's the one to dethrone Volk.
But I think his last fight out was against Lopez by decision. Like, look at his UFC career. I don't think. Let me check. Has he actually got?
Well, even when he fought Lopez, that was a short notice replacement as well.
Yeah. So since he's joined the UFC, he's only had decision wins against Rui Choi, Enrique Barzola, Mike Grundy, Nick Lenz, Hakeem Dawu, Dan Ige, and Diego Lopez actually are saying that that he's been more active than Allen. He only fought Lopez a month after Allen fought Holloway. So they've both been fairly inactive since then. So the stuff I mentioned about ring rust, you can chuck that right out the window because they're both going to be as rusty as each other. Both made weight as well. I'm expecting a banger of a fight if Arnold Allen can avoid those takedowns and keep it on the feet.
Then it's over.
Then it's over because we saw against the Hooker fight, he literally threw the kitchen sink, and then some to finish Hooker. But for me, this is Arnold Allen's big moment to say, that Max Holloway fight, it was a loss. Maybe got a little bit starstruck because it was Max that I was fighting, but we're back on the train. We're ready to head towards the title shot again. And you know what? If this division plays out the way I think it will possibly play out, he could end this year as the number 1 contender. I think that was one of my predictions, that he will reign as the number 1 contender, waiting for the next shot at the belt come 2025. Because for me, it's all setting up for him nicely. I think I just go through like my head, because I think Volk loses the belt to Topuria. I think Topuria is gonna fight Max. Whatever results, whatever result, I'm not going to say who's going to win, because I think that's a 50-50 fight. I think Arnold Allen may take Volkanovski. And I think Allen is going to be saying thank you very much. It'll be like when Volk beat Aldo. That was his moment to say I'm taking out a champ. And I think he'll fight the winner of we'll either get a Topuria Arnold Allen or a Max versus Allen rematch back end of the year or early 2025 for me personally.
I think that fight that he took with Max Holloway and lost, I think he'll learn so much from that. Because I think you're right in the phrase you used, being starstruck and a bit awestruck. I think he was taking pictures of Max in there, and you can't do that with Max. You got to get on him, and you can't let up.
You got to put the pressure on Max.
Yeah, so if he fights Max again, I expect it to be a different fight. Whether he wins or not remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But as you said, this division is potentially opened up for him, because if he wins this, and let's say Volk wins, then I think that's the fight to make. Him versus Volk for the belt. If Volk loses, then I think you do an immediate rematch.
You have got this other fight sort of like in the way. You got Yair versus Ortega 2, which I'm not going to lie, right? How is Brian Ortega ranked number 3 at featherweight? Someone tell me how someone that inactive is still ranked 3.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'll wait, because he's not with Tracy Cortez anymore, so he can't be using that to sort of like give old.
Are they not together anymore?
I don't think they are, unless they got back together. But last time I saw, they weren't together anymore.
It blows my mind as well, and I like Ortega as a fighter.
Yeah,
I don't get how he's still ranked number 3. I'm surprised they didn't try and sneak Conor McGregor into the rankings.
Nah, they won't do that. McGregor is less we talk about him, the better, because I will talk about him when we get an actual date of when he's going to fight.
When time comes.
Never know, he may fight John Jones. You never know. He's in that mood. He may just go, fuck it, I'll just fight Jones at heavyweight. No,
that would be the worst decision of his entire existence.
Absolutely, you could imagine.
That would be so bad. I don't even know if I could watch that fight. It would be
could you imagine? He just goes, "Yeah, Chandler, shut your mouth, Chandler. you want to fight? Yeah, go fight fucking Dustin. Fighting big money." Yeah, but hey,
Dustin versus Saint Denis. I called that.
Hey, Saint Denis. I'm sorry, Dustin. You've been good. But Benoit's my guy.
Yeah,
Benoit is my guy.
I think that could be his last fight
at lightweight, because I think he could trump up the welterweight. I think there'll be some interesting matchups for him. But hey ho. But hey, Callum, massive thanks for you joining me on the preview. Let people know where they can find you.
You can find me on Team Copies for Liverpool content, or you can find me on the Sanderson Show previews, recaps, combat catch up with this main man and Jamie Phillips. Shout out to Jamie Phillips as always.
Yeah, shout out Jamie as well. Obviously, he couldn't make it tonight.
Yeah.
But hopefully, fingers crossed, he's back for the watch along tomorrow. Yeah. If not,
it'll be back to us too. It'll be about
slugging it out.
So now, guys, my only request is that you subscribe to this channel. My only request. And Luke, keep doing your great work, and I'm always here if you need me, bro. You know this.
It's a massive thanks for you joining. First preview of the year.
I know.
Let's make it a great year. Make it an absolute great year. And obviously, I will have an announcement video, because I've got something that I want to announce shortly. I just need to sort a couple of things out, and then I'll announce something that I will be doing on the weekend of UFC 300. But don't worry, I will be still doing the watch along, but I'll do something earlier that I may document along the way. But stay tuned. But yeah, everyone hit the like button, share button, subscribe button as well. We're going to try and get. My goal for the year is to get to about what's realistic? Nah, screw it. I want to get to 1,000 subs. That's the aim for the year. That is the aim for the year, and hopefully this is going to be the start of that journey. But make sure you subscribe to Sanderson Show. Make sure that you subscribe to Codfish, and make sure you're there tomorrow, 3 a.m. on a Sunday. UFC 297. Sean Strickland versus Dricus Du Plessis. Raquel Pennington versus Myra Bueno Silva. Make sure you're there.
Stacked card.
Stacked card. Sleeper card. It's going to wake us up. That's what that card's going to do.
Indeed.
Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone. And we'll see you all very soon.